Sixth grade warriors, we are back. It's Friday the 14th, and you have concluded your first week of sixth grade math. You are going to be working in your Math 6 module folder again. Looks like this. I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're going to be on the 16th page in your module. So you're just going to have to flip through and go to the 16th page. At the top, it's going to say decimal addition. And on the back side of the sheet, it's going to say decimal subtraction. You are only going to be doing the practice set 1 on this page, and you're only going to be doing the practice set 1 on the back page. Miss Bridwell here is going to walk you through instructionally how to add and subtract decimals, but pay attention. You can stop, review it, and pause it, watch it again. But I think you guys will get this because you have this as an elementary student, okay? So pay attention, and then we will wrap it up, and you can get started on your handout and homework for the day. Then you'll have the whole weekend.
Okay, so today's lesson is not hard. However, because of the way this is set up, you need a piece of paper. Okay, so you need to pause the video for a minute, go get a piece of paper, a pencil, and no calculators. Everything we're doing right now is no calculator. Okay? All right. So we are on the addition side, and again, Mr. Potts said we're only doing practice set 1. So we're going to do 2 example problems for you. So we're going to start on number 2 under practice set 1. Okay. So the good thing, if you read above at the top of this page, it tells you every step that you need for adding decimals. So the first step, you always line up your decimal points. The second step, add digits in the same place value position, just like you do whole numbers. And then your final step is you drop that decimal straight down to your answer, and then you're done. Okay? So this is already lined up for you on number 2. So this one is really easy. Okay. If they've already lined it up for you and the decimals are lined up correctly, then all you have to do, bring that decimal into your answer, and now we ignore it. We just do regular whole number addition. So we know 6 plus 6, you should know, is 12. Here your 1. So 4 and 1 I know is 5, and 5 and 8 is 13. 3 and 1 is 4, 4 and 4 is 8. 2 plus nothing is 2. Now here, you can put in some zeros if you need placeholders to help you, but you don't necessarily have to here. 3 plus nothing is still 3, and 1 plus nothing is still 1. So you should know your answer is 132 and 832 thousandths is our answer. Okay. Now again, that one's easier because it's already lined up for you. You just drop that decimal point and then do your addition. All right, now we're going to do another one on that page. We're going to do number 6. Okay, so we're skipping around. We're going to do number 6. So this one has 3 numbers that you are adding, and it is written horizontal. So those are some hurdles we need to jump. Okay. So first step, you've got to, we always rewrite our problem. If it's horizontal, we want to rewrite it and make it vertical. So we're going to take the first number, 4.62. Right, or 4 and 62 hundredths. We're adding to that 3.415, or 3 and 415 thousandths. Your decimal points have to line up. So I go ahead and put a decimal right there. My 3 is in front of the decimal, that's my whole number. And then I've got a 4, a 1, and a 5. So I just line up my numbers exactly. Okay. Now, we're adding an extra number, so we're also adding 2.4. So again, that decimal has to line up with everything we've already written. So the 2 is my whole number, and my 4 is in my 10th place. So I gotta add all those up. Now, since it looks we're missing digits in certain places, we put zeros in as placeholders. So a 0 goes here, and you got a couple zeros in here to make it nice and neat and friendly. Now, at this point, drop that decimal to your answer, add it like you always have. So 0 and 5 and 0 we know is 5. 2 plus 1 is 3. 6 plus 4 is 10. And 10 plus 4 is 14. 4 and 1 is 5. 5 and 3 is 8. And 8 plus 2 is 10. So your answer should be 10 and 435 thousandths. Is our final
Now, the
answer.
biggest mistake that we see when kids are adding decimals is a lot of people are not real neat about their work and they will get their columns messed up. If you have a line sheet of notebook paper, it's vertical, and if you turn it horizontal, you can use those lines to keep the numbers in each line. That helps a lot of kids stay organized. But like I said, the biggest mistake we see is, oh my gosh, they know the math, they did everything correctly, but they have the columns messed up. So make sure your numbers are organized and balanced. And I love how Ms. Bridwell added the zeros because it just looks more organized.
So that's addition of decimals. That should be fairly easy for you.
Only do the first practice set on that page. There are 3 practice sets. You are only doing the first practice set. Now Ms. Bridwell is going to take you through the back page, which is subtraction, and again, we are only doing the first practice set.
So practice set 1. All right, and we're going to go all the way down. We're going to do number 6. Okay, now this is subtraction. The good news is you treat it exactly like addition. We line up our decimal points, bring the decimal to your answer, and then do the math. Okay? So number 6 is written horizontal again, which makes it just a little bit harder. But we can just rewrite it vertically and be just fine. All right, so I'm taking 216 and 8/10, and I'm taking away from that. My decimal has to line up. So my whole number is 34. So I put my 34 in front of the decimal. And I've got a 0, a 5, and a 5. Now in subtraction, it's super important. You have to put the zeros in up here. It'll really help you. So zeros in as your placeholders. Okay, so if I have 0, I can't take away 5. So I've got to borrow. Well, the problem is that there's nothing to borrow right here. It's still a 0. So we got to keep going over. The 8 becomes a 7. This 0 is now a 9, and your final 0 is a 10. Okay, now that's just basic regrouping rules and borrowing from younger grades. All right, so I take 10, take away 5, and now I got 5 left. 9, I take away 5, I'm left with 4. 7, take away nothing, still got 7. Bring your decimal straight down. If I have 6, take away 4, I've got 2 left. Okay, if I have 1, I can't take away 3, I don't have enough, so I gotta borrow. My 2 becomes a 1, and this 1 becomes an 11. 11 minus 3 is 8, and 1 take away nothing is still 1. Okay, now, I'll be honest, I mess up subtraction a lot. So, I always check myself. I always take my answer, add it to this number, and you should get what you started with if you did it right. So I always check my work because, like I said, I make mistakes a lot. So I'm taking 182, 745 thousandths, and I'm gonna add that to this number. So 34 and 55 thousandths. All right, 5 and 5, I know it's 10. Here's my 1. 4 and 1 is 5. 5 and 5 is 10 again. 7 and 1 we know is 8. Decimal point comes straight down. 2 plus 4 is 6. 8 plus 3 is 11. And 1 and 1 is 2. So if I did it right, it should match exactly what I started with, which it does. So I know it's just an extra check step. You don't have to do this step over here, but I know I make mistakes a lot, so I like to check myself on subtraction.
That's perfect. So, number 1, make sure you line up your decimals. Number 2, make sure your work is organized. And if you do those 2 things, then you should have no problems doing today's assignment. Have a great weekend, and then we'll be ready to rock on Monday. Okay?